America is turning 250 years old, which sounds ancient, but compared to places like Egypt and Rome, we're basically a gangly middle schooler with braces, questionable judgment, and way too much confidence.
Dude, watch this! I'll be fine.
So for 250 years, America has been doing exactly what young teenagers do. Experimenting, learning important lessons the hard way, and occasionally setting things on fire. History books tend to give us the polished version, but the real story, it's kind of weird. So we're devoting this entire episode to the wonderfully bizarre moments when America tripped down the stairs, carrying history on its back, and somehow still managed to land on its feet. So grab some cake, light 250 candles, maybe alert your fire department, and welcome to the podcast that answers some of the questions you've always wondered about.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
Hi, I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for joining us. There are moments in history where people attempt ambitious things. Climbing Mount Everest, landing on the moon,
The Eagle has landed.
trying to assemble IKEA furniture with only optimism and a tiny hex wrench.
Oh, for the love of...
And then there was America in 1776.
Gentlemen, we are going to war against the British Empire.
Respectfully, sir, but have you recently suffered a head injury?
So have you always wondered, just what were the Americans thinking? I mean, the mighty British military must have looked at that revolution and said,
Yeah, we should have this wrapped up before lunch.
except America had one secret weapon. Total and complete chaos. Fort Stanwix, upstate New York, 1777. British forces surrounded the fort. It was up to American General Benedict Arnold, not yet America's most famous traitor, to stop them.
We don't have nearly enough troops to fight them.
So, what do you suggest?
Fake news.
Arnold captured a local loyalist and said he would spare his life if he'd run into the British camp and tell a lie. So with a coat full of bullet holes, the guy dashed in and laid down a whopper.
American troops are coming. Thousands of them. You better get while the getting's good.
Panic spread, British soldiers fled, and the fort was saved without a single shot being fired.
Historically speaking, it was the first example of weaponized group chat.
And there was the time America tried attacking the British underwater.
Witness the first ever attack submarine. I call it the Turtle.
Picture a wooden barrel, shaped like two turtle shells, with a person inside paddling underwater in darkness toward British warships while carrying explosives.
What could possibly go wrong?
The Turtle did reach the British ship, but could not successfully attach the bomb. So while the mission may have failed, imagine being a British guard on duty.
Excuse me, Nigel, but I think that giant walnut is trying to attack us.
And then there was Sullivan's Island, South Carolina. British warships arrived expecting an easy victory. But American defenders had built a fort using palmetto logs. So when British cannonballs slammed into it, the soft palmetto wood just absorbed the impacts.
Think of it as history's largest memory foam mattress.
At the same time, American defenders fired back with devastating precision, and they even managed to blast away part of the British admiral's clothing.
Well, the good news is I survived. The bad news? America literally shot off my pants.
And that is the strange miracle of the American Revolution, when the Patriots possessed a willingness to solve problems by saying,
What if we tried something completely insane?
and shockingly, it worked.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
We think of our founding fathers as statues, colorful portraits, or faces on currency. But real life? It was a bit more on the weird side. So have you always wondered, just how odd were some of America's founding fathers? Well, let's start with Ben Franklin, scientist, inventor, diplomat, a man who also had an unusual daily pastime.
I call them my air baths.
Yeah, he basically liked conducting business while sitting naked in front of an open window.
Yes, Mr. Franklin. The documents have arrived, sir. Would you... Oh, jeez.
Ah, excellent. Just set them down next to my Freedom Breeze.
Then there were John Adams and Thomas Jefferson.
They were America's original frenemies.
Well, early on, during a trip overseas, the pair visited the birthplace of William Shakespeare. Picture it, 2 future presidents at the sacred grounds of Stratford-upon-Avon. When they came across Shakespeare's favorite chair, they said something like,
Thomas, history should be preserved.
Agreed. And we're just the men to do it.
So they each proceeded to chip off a piece of wood from the historical chair, pocket it, and walk off with their own personal souvenir. And that brings us to Gouverneur Morris. No, he wasn't an office holder. That was his name, Governor. Now, he's the guy who actually wrote the words in the Constitution,
"We, the people of the United States."
Well, it turns out he was a real ladies' man with a peg leg. Rumor has it, he lost the leg while jumping out of a window to avoid a jealous husband. But when he later came down with a urinary tract infection, he refused to see a doctor. So instead, he made his own makeshift catheter using a whalebone.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the procedure went about as poorly as you'd expect. So what do these stories tell us? Well, our country was not built by statues. It was built by real human beings. Exceptional men who changed history and sometimes made really questionable decisions, which honestly feels pretty American.
It's the Always Wondered podcast.
As America grew, it's comforting to know that we did not leave the chaos behind. We continue to ask,
what if we made this situation weirder?
So have you always wondered, what were some of the strangest ideas America had after the Revolution? We start in the Old West in the 1850s. America was expanding, but the Southwest proved to be brutal, especially for the U.S. Army.
Desert conditions, long distances, oppressive heat. We may as well be in Arabia.
And that's when the light bulb went off.
That's it!
Enter the Camel Corps.
What?
Yep, the Army imported camels. Lots of them. And the weird part? It actually worked. Camels carried heavy loads, handled the heat, needed less water, but there was one small issue. Horses absolutely freaked out. And the soldiers weren't fond of the smell. So once the Civil War broke out, the whole idea kind of fizzled and the camels were released into the wild. Which means, for a while, there were random camels freely roaming the American Southwest.
You know what, Jebediah? Either that horse has a big hump on its back, or I've been drinking the wrong cactus juice.
And here's another bizarre animal twist. In the early 1900s, America faced a meat shortage, but Congress had a plan.
Gentlemen, I have one word for you. Hippopotamus.
Yeah, the idea was to stock the Louisiana swamps with hippos. Legislation was drafted, a big PR campaign was launched. They even came up with a name for hippo meat.
Since they live near the water and it's not quite beef and not quite pork, we'll call it Lake Cow Bacon.
The bill was close to passing until they realized something.
Do hippos kill dogs?
Yes.
What about horses? Humans?
Most definitely.
Ultimately, the bill failed by just 2 votes. But had it not, America could have been a very different place.
Hey kids, who's hungry for potamus patties?
Me! I am!
Tonight, bring the family to Hungry Hippos, home of the Double Swamp Deluxe. It's dangerously delicious.
And basically, that's America in a nutshell. Innovative, big thinking, wild ideas, sometimes genius, sometimes madness, and occasionally both.
The Always Wondered podcast.
Well, that wraps up this episode of Always Wondered. And I think what we learned today is that, much like that gangly middle school kid that we talked about,
Dude,
America sometimes fails. Sometimes spectacularly. But there's something in our collective psyche that urges us to get up, dust ourselves off, and keep trying.
this time will be even better.
All right. As always, we leave you with one to ponder. Have you always wondered, did a British officer ever go home after the Revolution and spend the rest of his life saying,
"Wait, we lost to who?"
So until next time, stay curious and keep wondering. I'm Rick Peterson. Thanks for listening.
The Always Wondered Podcast.
If you like what you hear, please subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, and a review. Listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Feel free to offer suggestions for future topics or simply reach out to alwayswonderedpodcast@gmail.com.